prefer to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me so.
Good morning, everybody. This is King 5 News on Kong.
So we're waking up to dry in spots, really wet in spots, but mostly gray across western Washington on this Wednesday, the 13th of June.
Number 1 in the mornings, King 5 News starts now.
I'm taking the helm here this morning. I am skippering a 1940 Chris Craft vessel. And this is just one of the things that you'll see this weekend at a fantastic boat show happening in Seattle. Our waterfront will be lined with 60 classic yachts. We'll tell you what it's all about and how you can take part in it for free coming up later in the show.
Well, this weekend, Seattle's waterfront is going to feature the largest gathering of classic yachts on the West Coast.
And it's just in time for Father's Day weekend. Christy Johnson is live on South Lake Union with the preview. And there's nothing like a wooden boat. It is just gorgeous, Christy.
Yeah, it's OSM. Awesome. That's what this boat is. We are live this morning on South Lake Union aboard a 1940 Chris Craft. And this is a classic yacht. It's an old wooden vessel. And that's what we're talking about here. This is your boat, Jim. So tell me about this boat. What makes it special?
Well, it was built in 1940 on the Great Lakes. It was custom built for a car dealer in Cleveland. And it cruised on the Great Lakes for about 20 years and came out to Seattle on a railroad car.
Wow.
And it's been out here with just 2 owners since then.
Big time history, and owning one of these boats is not like owning any other kind of boat. This is kind of like having a grand piano that you keep in your backyard and people expect it to look perfect all the time.
That's about right. You have to stay after it, have a schedule of maintenance, and we always want to be making sure that the wood is taken care of and varnished and the metal is polished and the engine runs, all sorts of details to attend to.
These are big time around here, and you guys tell me that Seattle and area is one of the best places in the country to have one of these.
The climate here is really perfect. It's one of the best places in the world to keep a wooden boat, which is why there's so many around here. It doesn't get too hot. It doesn't get too cold. We don't have to take them out in the middle of winter when it freezes.
I love that you just said it doesn't get too hot. That's shocking information.
That's right.
It's
especially
freezing
today.
out here today.
Especially today.
Especially today, but everybody's out here on their boat, and everybody will be able to come down and see these boats this weekend. You guys are having a huge fair this weekend, so tell us about that.
That's right. Pier 66 at Bell Harbor Marina, we have our classic yacht show, our annual classic yacht show every year on Father's Day weekend. And people will be able to come down and see almost 60 of these vintage wooden boats down there, ranging from, well, a lot of people don't know the Washington State had a governor's yacht at one time. The Olympus will be there. She's 93 feet. She was built in New York. Lots of Chris Crafts. And our marquee class, our featured class this year is the Matthews Boat Builders. They're also from the Great Lakes. And I think there's 5 or 6 Matthews are going to be there.
Well, here's the neat thing. Starting Friday at 2 o'clock, you guys are going to do a huge parade of ships. From Elliott Bay all the way to the ferry docks and back to Pier 66
back
that people can come watch. Now, where's the best place to see that from?
Anywhere along the waterfront. Waterfront Park would be good. Myrtle Edwards Park would be wonderful. There'll be at least 35 boats parading at 2 o'clock on Friday.
They're going to park themselves at Pier 66, and then starting Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, running all the way through Sunday evening, people are going to be able to come down, tour these boats, see these boats, interact with people that own these boats, and find out what they're all about, and it's totally free. Totally free, and most of them are open for boarding. We welcome people to come aboard and look at a chance to take a look at the past. Yeah, it's really cool. This morning so far we've seen a boat from 1929 that was built right here in South Lake Union. This boat is from 1940, and coming up next hour we're going to get on another boat and show you the inside of another wooden vessel. So here again is how you can do this. Friday at 2 o'clock, big parade of ships through Elliott Bay. That's free to do. And then Pier 66 all weekend long. Take your dad. That would be a great Father's Day outing, don't you think, as a family? You can get down there. You can see these boats. They're going to have a classic auto show there as well. Some music, and it's all complimentary. Everything is free. Go to king5.com and click on news links for all of the information. Do you know what OSM means? Awesome. He's with it, Mark and Joyce. He totally knows what that means, and that's what this boat is all about. These boats are really awesome, and I said last hour, and all of these guys started laughing at me, and you probably thought it was a very strange comment. I said these boats smell great, but they really do smell great. It's all that varnish. I guess I like the smell of varnish. It smells like an antique. It smells amazing. It does have that kind of aura. So you can come down and smell these boats all weekend long.
Whoa, they're beautiful. Christy, really thank you very much.
The craftsmanship is so gorgeous.
It is pretty. It really is.
So just one of the many things you can do over the holiday weekend.
And they say the happiest day in a boater's life is the day they buy their boat and the day they sell their boat, because
and everything in between.
Yeah.
Someone told me once a boat means break out another 1,000.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But they are very pretty.
Very true, yeah.
Our own little acronym for boat.
And the best way to do it, of course, is to have a friend with a boat.
Yeah,
and that's the ideal. That's the ideal thing.
So today, Port Angeles is a great place to boat.
Actually, down in the South Sound, you're going to be boating out in the sun, and well, you know, it's not too hot, not too cold. You could be boating up around Everett, but you'll be a little on the damp side.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your varnish is applied thickly up there. Take a look.
Well, you could at some point see the sun today, although it's still a little bit cooler than it should be.
And there's more sun on the way. Hey, there's some sun right there in Port Angeles. That's always kind of a sure bet, right? Lisa Van Sice's details in her extended forecast coming up. And then
I'm hanging out with my crew here today aboard a 1929 bridge deck cruiser. It's a classic yacht, and there will be 60 of them lining Seattle's waterfront coming up this weekend. We're shining, we're polishing, and we're mopping so that you can come back and get aboard this yacht coming up after the break.
this weekend, Seattle's waterfront will feature the largest gathering of classic yachts on the West Coast.
Just in time for Father's Day weekend. King 5's Christy Johnson is at South Lake Union with a preview.
We are polishing, we are varnishing, we are getting this yacht ready to welcome you aboard. Right now we're hanging out in South Lake Union talking about the Bell Harbor Classic by the Classic Yacht Association. It's happening this weekend. And right now, Doran, we're on your boat, and this is a 1929 bridge deck cruiser, right?
Correct.
Now, what makes this boat special?
It was built right here on the lake. In fact, right down there, the Vic Frank Boat Company still exists.
And it was built in 1929 right here on South Lake Union.
Right here on Lake Union.
That is this boat that you're looking at right now, but if we take a look here down the dock, right here we have a 1955 Chris Craft, and if you look at that, that kind of looks a little bit like a 1955 Chevy, and we'll find out about that in just a minute. And then over here we have a 1940 Chris Craft as well. These are just some of the boats that you'll be able to see this weekend at the festival, which we'll get to in a minute here, but I want to bring Jerry in. Your boat is the one behind us that looks like the 1955 Chevy. And you really say this is a labor of love. It's like owning a grand piano that you have to keep in your front yard and keep looking great all the time.
It is a little bit like that. There's a lot of maintenance. These are laborers of love, and like Doran says, we're not owners, we're caretakers.
You're caretakers. You want to tell us why that looks like a 55 Chevy?
Well, in 1955, this boat was built in Holland, Michigan, which is right outside of Detroit, and the automakers had a lot to do with the automotive styling details that were put into these vessels at that time.
It's pretty fascinating, and here's the deal. You're going to be able to come down and see these boats up close and personal, get on them, and interact with their owners this weekend. Now, Jim, you are a past Commodore with the Classic Yacht Association. Right. There's so much history involved in these boats. Yours over here is the 1940 Chris Craft.
Right.
Why is this going to be such a great thing to come down to?
It's a wonderful family event. We see families coming down, moms and dads and kids crawling in and out of these boats, because every boat's got a story. Every boat is a story of people who've owned it over the years, and Jerry's right. We feel like caretakers of something precious that's going to be passed on to the next generation. So it's a real momentous time for folks and families to be together.
Well, here's how you can take part in this with your family this weekend. Kicking off Friday at 2 o'clock, there will be several boats doing a parade from Elliott Bay through to the ferry terminal back to Pier 66. They're going to park it at Pier 66 for the entire weekend, kicking off Saturday morning at 10, running through Sunday evening. There will be 60 yachts, classic yachts, wooden vessels on display that you can come down and see for free. The whole thing is complimentary. Go to king5.com, click on news links for all of the information. For now, we're going to put this down, gentlemen. Back to work. You've got a big show to prepare for here. I'm going to take a rest here on the aft deck. Do you like my boat knowledge there? Aft deck. For now, this is Captain Johnson, along with my crew in South Lake Union, reminding you to make it a great day. Good work, you guys. Great. Keep mopping. I didn't say stop.
To enunciate the aft deck.
Yes. Well, not a really stellar day for boating out there, but maybe, maybe this weekend.
This weekend doesn't look terrible, and I'm saying if you are lucky enough to own one of those classic yachts, any day is a good day for boating.
True.
They are just beautiful. I think I have my Father's Day plans all set up, thanks to Christy.